Just making sure I cleared everything. Items look good. Tracker looks good. Timer looks good. And there they go. Again, I'll fix the cropping as soon as we're done initially exploring. Only one forest so far. Nice river. Early orange Dyra, but only 30 points. We see one cave already. It's Death Mountain. It's gross. That looks like potentially one of those magic cave situations to access that boulder. There is a little bit of forest above that, though. So we can't entirely rule that. There's Jump Cave for us. Reminds me I don't have a fresh sheet of paper. But we do find Magic Jar Cave. So we'll go see what's in there. And it is a heart container for a Tristal. And dude's on his way to get that now. Alright. So let me fix dude's screen here a little bit. Alright, and they should be close enough now to not be annoying. I did not, no. I was busy in screen, so he's definitely more than welcome to join me. So, Error, if you're still out there, hop on in, buddy. We had the grass tile. I did miss what it was. What's the raft? Thank you, Choke. Oh, is you implying I do not know anything about this game? Thank you. I appreciate that. Trophy Cave.
You know lots of things about the game.
No, apparently I don't. How you doing, man?
Doing all right.
All right. Well, we have a little slow early start here. There was a heart container in Magic Container Cave, and we're going to see what's in Trophy Cave right now. And it is a magic jar. Not two items you want to find right away, are they?
Not particular. Well, the magic jar is okay. The heart container also okay, but I'm looking for, you know, much better.
Yeah, magic container can lead to better things later on, should it happen, but you want the guaranteed stuff now.
You know, one of these caves may contain a glove that you may want to check out. Anyway.
Yeah, I think the last two races, well, at least the last race had a easily accessible glove, and two of the last three, I believe, did as well. Tanarudo.
Just getting my stream link set up real quick.
Yeah, no problem, man. Take your time, and thank you again. All right, and there, dude has the raft now. So at least initially, there's going to be no desperate hunt on the Western continent to expand this game's exploration any more than it needs to. Do have a palace right there. Tristal's on his way. The second of the three palaces we can find. It's either 3 or 6. I did not see what the first one was, but I will see when Simpoldood goes there now. Dude takes an unfortunate bop there, but we'll call that a death warp. Goes right to the exit. If you see Simple stop every once in a while, it's because he is, I think he's making a concerned effort to track. It was 5, thank you. And we can see that right now. I think he's making a concerned effort to track and write down item locations of things, so he knows how to get back to it. Okay, that is not a second grass tile on Tristal's screen. That's just the road generating over the initial grass layout.
Can see bug reports coming from that one. If you hadn't found the grass tile yet.
No, if you have not, it's certainly there was an instance one time, and I don't know if anybody knows this, so I'll bring it up just in case you are playing this game. It could happen to you. All encounter tiles have 8 of the different type of terrain surrounding it, so you can identify them, except if it generates next to the raft spot. So that one bridge tile could be part of that 8. So you may not check it because you don't think it's, surrounded by a full 8 of a similar terrain type. But that can happen only if, I believe, the raft spot generates there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it cost me a little bit of time, and I think it cost like a couple people time in one race. But this was quite a few generations ago, updates ago.
Also, congratulations, Simple, with your 0 hit point bug.
It's not going to do anything to disprove theories that he uses Game Genie.
So the bug I'm talking about is that if you take a hit that would normally kill you, but you get knocked off screen before you actually, quote-unquote, die, you live with 0 hit points.
Yeah, kids call it Zombie Link, I believe. Find the back end of Saria there, so I want to keep that in mind. So, Era, how do you account for navigating the overworld in the initial part of the Western continent?
Good question. I mean, try and just go to as large of areas as possible. Just try and not, get caught up in dig swamp.
Yeah, that's always unfortunate when something's just like one tile off in a big swamp.
You just want to check as much as you can, as fast as you can, and hope that, and try not to leave like any little pockets. You want to, if it's like the edge of the screen, you want to try and make sure you check the entire edge of the screen just to make sure, just in case, because you really don't want to be looking for something and think you've checked everything, but just up in the corner is a cave that you didn't find because you didn't quite scroll the screen enough.
Assuming a dead end and all of a sudden, pulling your hair out at the end, because it's always going to require the one thing you're looking for eventually in the end when you miss something like that. Tristal went over to the east there, some invisible moas. I believe he just got out of there. Maybe he was looking for a quick and easy town, maybe for a jump spell or something early, something to help.
Otherwise, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
Otherwise, in the west, I tend to not look at non-caves. Like, I just look specifically for item tiles because the P bags here are shuffled amongst the western P bags. So I'm not too concerned about finding western continent P bags. Eastern continent, I'm more likely to check like forest tiles because I know that they're likely to contain something a lot more useful than a Bagu forest tile or Bagu trap tile.
Yeah, as we can see in this seed, Bagu is definitely not required. We got our first spell of the game, though. It is Thunder.
Too bad and nice that it's one of the free spells, so you don't have to worry about it later.
I don't believe either player has taken a path to try to access a different side of the continent, although I don't know where Simpoldood wound up. Did he? Okay. Which one did he take through? Do you know?
He took the Short Cave, I think is the nickname for it.
Okay.
The Parappa Cave.
Okay.
Which was in the southwestern portion of the map.
Well, on this new area here, you can see that Simpoldood found a second entrance to Death Mountain that contains the easily accessible rock location, and there was also a cave blocked by a boulder as well.
Right. Chooses not to take a peek. It seems pretty split to see whether players actually decide to, take a peek at the early surrounding caves of Death Mountain, or whether they decide to just get in, get out, and decide not to check. There's actually 2 caves with a boulder block, because there's one on the eastern side as well.
Oh, okay. And I believe we haven't found 3 total caves as it stands right now, so there's still 1 out there. Tristal picks up the Thunder spell. Yeah, off the record, somebody has told me that their decision on going into Death Mountain early actually depends on their opponent. And if their opponent is more skilled, is more procedural, does more of like a standard method of playing this game, that they won't check initial caves. But if their player is a little bit less experienced, they will, because they just playing defensively and don't want to be caught off guard by somebody getting a required item where they're not necessarily looking for it because they think they don't need to at this point in time. So it's like one of those things that it's just another decision whether you do or don't want to do it. But I guess there's no real right answer unless you know what the item is.
I tend to always check.
Yeah. I mean,
if only because I'm there and it doesn't take too much time to just peek. Full diving could take quite a while, so I generally don't do that early. But, it's like, hey, this open area, it's got like 6 caves, I'm going to check them. Maybe you get lucky.
Yeah, it's always nice when you do get rewarded for that. All right, Simple's going to go through Fairy Cave here. Tristal's going to pick up this second spell that I'm not going to admit I missed on Simpoldood's screen when he got it, and it is the spell.
I would not be surprised if Dude ended up having a useless Warp here, since there was a graveyard tile to the southwest of a town.
There's your
this
graveyard.
Particular town.
There you go. It's the town of Mito. Well, he probably already tracked that location. And he upays.
Dude losing a frame by exiting to the right instead of the left.
He should know better.
He's only the world record holder in like almost every category, so
yeah, that's definitely unacceptable. All right, that might have been Short Cave that Tristal just found there.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dude decides to go east now. Especially with a castable Thunder spell, you could get experience relatively quickly. or anything dangerous, you wouldn't just cast Thunder and kill all the invisible Moas.
Unos had some fun with Thunder yesterday when it was linked to Fire.
Isn't that the best? I wonder what that feels like.
It seems to be a rarity in this tournament so far. Only a few times I can count.
Yeah, it's theoretically only 1 in 7. So...
Yeah. Alright, well, Tristal's also going to join Simpoldood in the Eastern Swamp. There's a lot of swamp in the seed.
It's always a lot of swamp.
Oh, there was an unfortunate coffee grinder that got Simpoldood. A little digger in that desert tile. Find another one. Tristal's going to try his luck at a pea bag. It's unfortunate he did not find one. And the second desert tile requires jump to get whatever's here. Probably a pea bag.
Unless it's another little digger.
It could be. I don't know how many actually get randomized within the overworld. I don't know how many there are normally. 4, maybe 3.
It's 2 in each continent.
Okay.
So on the overworld.
Yeah, and I don't think they randomize between continents, so there'll still be 2, except if they randomize into a P-Bag cave, and then they can be in palaces. Those ones. So that's good to know.
This lava tile, on the other hand, contains a 500-point P-Bag, so each of our players is going to love taking attack 3.
Yeah, attack 3 before a gem. It's, it's a beautiful thing, because then you can just use your gems later on.
Also, for all of you Bits of Sweeties people, you're lucky that they are immune to everything but fire in this seed.
Yeah, Rep will be happy about that one. Looking through some caves here. We're not exploring any of them, but if anybody's tracking Eastern Continent caves, they're making notes. See which ones we can go through later if we are officially blocked from doing anything else. For some reason, the overworld layout has me really intrigued about this cave right there. But it's just a pass-through cave.
It's been kind of a stingy seed so far.
Yeah, honestly, with the 2 caves blocked by a boulder, I believe we have not seen the 3rd accessible cave in the west. And they're finding nothing over here in the east.
So it's likely going to be probably a hammer required seed, you'd think?
There's a chance. 3 items blocked by hammer. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely leaning towards that. We're going to have to take a cave here somewhere.
Or we could be Tristal and find Maze Island, because he is 1 square away from it.
Yeah, grab 2 items and then further assess the situation. 2 encounters right off the bat. And remember, they don't have downstab as of right now, or the means to get it.
Because Dude chose to take a pass-through cave, and Tristal chose to go follow the coast, or take the swamp, follow the coast, and happen to find Maze Island. So
the caves Simpoldood found, it brought him to the northern area of the continent, so we'll see what's up here. Basically looking for all the towns, all the palaces, except for the one on Maze Island. We did see the water tile, however, and here's a possible desert tile with a town just to the north. There's your hammer. So that opens up a little bit. That was not the desert tile, but let's see what this town is.
Probably Darunia, just to mess with players being stingy seed.
Here's the second, it's Nubaru, and here's the second item on Maze Island. It's a little digger. Tristal's going to show the proper respect and not even pick it up. But game over in the process, so maybe he did want to pick that up. I wonder if that was the situation where he was turning around in spite, or if he was just turning around in preparation to try to dodge that mace. And accidentally died.
I don't know, but with a hammer now, it doesn't surprise me that he would choose to go back to the west and check out a couple of caves. I don't know if he noticed the other entrance to Death Mountain having the boulder. He goes in the first entrance to Death Mountain and decides to take a peek.
Yeah, I'm going to say I did not see him enter that side of Death Mountain. I only saw it on Simpoldood's side, but it's always possible that he did peek in, peek out, and I just was distracted. But we had the fire spell for Simpoldood in Nubaru. We don't know what it's linked to right now, I don't believe, because I don't think we cast anything yet.
We got a P-Bag Cave.
So I guess this question I'm going to ask you relates to on Simpoldood's sides of things right now, because I was going to ask it in favor of Tristal before. Not having downstab and still not exploring most of the east and not having pretty much any item before the hammer of any relevance. When are you considering the thought of getting jump and fairy and up-aying back to the west?
I mean, it's a moot point without jump and fairy.
Right.
So, I generally try and prioritize towns over diving if I don't have any of those. I feel like I'm a strong enough player I can get by without downstab, although I love to have downstab, especially if I'm exploring the east, but sometimes it's just not an option. But it really does surprise me that Tristal has chosen to go into Death Mountain instead of, checking out any of the easy hammer blocked caves or anything like that. So
yeah, I believe one was easily accessible right at the start, and then the other one was in that second area by the area of Death Mountain that brought you right to the Spectacle Rock boulder. Alright, Simpoldood's making his way through the desert encounters here. See if he finds on the other side. It's going to be a swamp tile he's not going to be able to access without jump. I believe that was a magic container in P-Bag Cave, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, because Simpoldood does have 6 total now. Now, I gotta tell you,
going through a pass-through cave and totally wrecking this Blue Lizalfos, which I totally just jinxed them.
Yeah, I was actually going to jinx him before you did. I gotta say, I don't know how much of your races you watch back, but when you and Simpoldood wreck enemies like that, like, chat goes crazy.
I didn't watch the last one because I was sad. It's salty.
Yeah. But they love watching you guys fight stuff.
The Simpoldood's a lot better than I am. Let's just be honest.
Oh, equally impressive. I don't think a lot of us are even good enough to even realize there's a little bit of a difference, if at all.
Oh, there's quite a bit of a difference.
All right, well, Tristal's making his way here. He's looking for this hammer cave. Is he procedurally looking through all the caves, or is he just banging into one of them, going through it, and then arriving in a new area and going through the next one?
I haven't been paying too close of attention, but I believe he's been somewhat procedurally going through.
Well, he did find his way to Monocle Spectacle Rock or whatever. I gotta read the lore. I need to know what it's called. I believe it's called Spectacle Rock. And there you go. Because I think well, it's another magic jar, but he'll be at 6 now.
Simple headed back east. Spectacle Rock not randomized. Two things that haven't been randomized. I mean, Fire Spell was in Firetown, so I think this is broke.
Yeah, the possibility of this not being able to finish this one is greatly high. Fire. Okay.
I don't think we've checked to see what Fire is linked to yet.
We have not. Simple has it. I don't believe... I'm questioning myself right now. I don't believe Tristal has picked that one up yet.
No.
Because he
I don't think it's linked to Fire, just because I've seen Tristal cast Thunder, but I don't know if he's actually swung his sword since he's done that.
Simpoldood's going to take another pass through Kasuto Cave. Take a death there. I believe he did game over because we were talking about the Blue Zaphos fight, and he just made his way back to the east. So looks like
he did.
Looks like he's going in a different direction, and again, he bypassed the area that includes the free walk to Maze Island. See what he finds in this way, and that's why Tristal didn't find Nubaru. Tristal gets wamboozled.
This is actually pretty close to where Simple game over, so... This is one place where, you know, Simple's relative lack of randomizer experience is kind of coming through, because you would normally with Thunder castable, you'd see, you know, some players actually make an effort to use it when there's invisible MOAs, like there are on these swamp encounters, in order to prevent that game over.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be definitely in at least after the first hit, if not just trying to do it in preparation of getting, you know, to prevent getting hit at all.
I mean, Thunder's expensive, but he's got nothing better to cast, so...
77 at Magic 3, yeah.
Also would like to see Simple actually check what Fire is, to see if it's Fairy or Spell or something else.
How many times has he played this game with Fire not linked to something to even, you know, break that habit of not even attempting to use it? And there's Heart Container Cave. I don't believe... Is this the one of the ones blocked by a boulder? Probably is.
It is.
And to my recollection, we haven't seen Medicine Cave or the Peabag Cave either. So one of them is blocked by a boulder. Either I flat out missed the third, or the players have not found it. There's garbage Peabag in there. So the hammer so far has gotten him the magic container and the Peabag. And several hundreds of seconds wasted.
You say wasted, but it's still information, and it's very likely that when Simple finds the hammer, he's eventually going to find it. He'll go back and check those spots.
Oh, absolutely. Simpoldood doing his best slinks there to reduce the amount of encounters he takes.
It's a bit difficult to slink in the swamp.
Yeah. Got away with it once, and then the dudes found him anyway. Tristal's on his last life here. I don't know if he's crossed to the other side of the Western continent yet, but he wants to get rid of this red Dyra. Probably because he's 7 XP from whatever level he's going to take next.
Jumping Cat only gives 5. Fortunate. Simple, if he survives this swamp encounter, is going to find Maze Island.
All right, Tristal makes it through, grabs a pea bag in one of the forest tiles, able to get attack 4. And he'll press on. Coffee Grinder gets Simpoldood again, and yet again he's wamboozled. So
he at least knows where Maze Island is now, so I wouldn't be surprised if he goes immediately back there.
Which way did he approach it from? The normal way or whatever around about?
He found it the same way Tristal did.
Okay.
It was taking the swamp along the coast from the south and headed north.
And here's our second of the boulder block caves. The medicine cave. Tristal is on his last life. I don't think he got into a palace to up A.
I don't think we've seen Peaback Cave yet.
I don't think we've seen Peaback Cave yet either, and we're not going to see the item in that cave right now. So a little bit of anticipation. I wonder where Peaback Cave could be, if I'm thinking about it.
It's on the Western continent, man. It's somewhere.
It's somewhere, yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's actually across the river. Because we've seen that there's a river to the south from where they start, but neither player has the boots, so they can't cross and check it.
I don't think we've seen a third palace either.
We've seen 3.
Have we seen 3?
Great Palace, 3 or 6,
and 5.
And 5.
All right, yeah, the 3 or 6 is the one I don't mark. I don't think we've seen either palace on the continental eastern continent yet, though, either.
You know where Valley of Death is, because that's relatively close to the raft spot.
All right, Tristal makes his way back to Medicine Cave. And as you say, Simpoldood knows where Maze Island is, and that's exactly where he's going. Maybe. He made a left turn.
If I were going to explore first, he is, he's explored quite a lot of the overworld here and has found 1 town. So, it wouldn't surprise me if they're all kind of bunched up around here. Also, checking this cave first to see if it's a Peaback Cave is pretty good play.
Yeah, absolutely. You can get the gloves on the way, and then the palace in Maze Island could be one of the ones that you may need the gloves for, so it saves you a little bit of a trip. If anything else, it's a little beneficial no matter what it is.
Of course, there is an invisible moa in this cave too, so... Cast the fire spell. It's not linked to jump. Not linked to fairy.
That was the
I don't know if there's any enemies on screen to see if he was linked to spell. Not linked to shield.
Did you rule out life? I'm sorry, I wasn't. I was looking for the kid.
I couldn't tell because he was at full health.
Okay, yeah.
When he cast it. Cast Thunder to kill a Moa and still didn't get him, but able to make it through the screen that time.
So that was the kid on the medicine cave for Tristal. And another spell item for Simpoldood right there. Trophy in the second Peabag Cave.
See if he can survive the exit. I think dude wants to explore a little bit more. Love to find a palace, but He's on his last life. Able to escape.
Oh boy, that's not the last life sliver of health town you wanted to find right there.
It's okay. We've got a fairy to save us.
And palace.
Probably just need up A in the palace here.
Yeah, 3 or 6. Full complement of lives.
And a thunder spell to kill these Moas if you want simple.
Yeah,
But no, we'll just kill him with the sword.
We need the timeout, how long it takes him to get into the menu and select it and cast it, compared to just doing what he just did right there.
Got a jump spell, which is okay. Not particularly what you want to find, but he does have access to downstab now, which is the one reason why you would want jump.
He's going to get a refill on his life and health. More importantly, his health. All the towns are right here. There's Darunia. He does not have the kid. He's going to go through it for upstab, though.
It's not a bad thing to get now. It does give you options, combat options, and when you have so low of health, then it's not a bad thing to just come and get. Second try super jump.
All right, Tristal is in the same area now. He will find this cave that has the trophy. And he'll be in Darunia soon with the kid. So we'll see how that one plays out. So we've only not seen New Casino now over here, and we've seen... We're still missing 1, 2, and 4. What was the palace on... We never found the palace on Maze Island, right? Because Tristal died before he got there?
That's correct.
Okay.
Palace 1.
All right, so 1 is on the continental eastern continent. So that means between 2 and 4, one's going to be on Valley of Death, one's going to be on Maze Island.
So this desert tile probably has the item. So I think we found 3 other desert tiles that have had nothing.
All right, we definitely did, and it's definitely a nice little item to find, especially when you don't have Fairy. Simpoldood
We might see him turn around immediately and go back to 1.
Simpoldood was doing the celebratory crouching dance. No, he doesn't go back into 1. He up A's and goes to the west here.
That surprises me.
With 5,
might be wanting downstab really bad.
Yeah, with downstab on horizon, and we've seen him do 5 with worse at this point with worse stats. He might be considering trying to clear the west now. But Maze Island was right there. It's kind of like, don't have the glove. There's 2 items, and Palace 1 now to consider.
If we're going to clear palaces, Palace 1 would have been a better choice to start off with. But he does have a trophy. He may be wanting to turn that in.
Yeah, he's got a couple different options here to take, and all of them involve backtracking at some time anyway. Maybe not Palace 1, but... All right, and there's Darunia now for Tristal. So we'll see what this trophy turns in. Trophy, again, was in the Eastern Continent, P-Bag Cave. Both players have it. I just confused myself because I didn't update the tracker. It's the kid that Tristal found, and Tristal found that in the hammer-blocked Medicine Cave, the hammer of which is on Maze Island that Simpoldood did not explore yet.
Simple is definitely choosing to turn in his trophy. I forgot this bridge was down here to get down to this southwestern portion.
I believe Mito is the one with the Fairy Town. What am I talking about? The graveyard tile southwest of where it was. Fairy Cave. And it's life.
Also not a bad spell to pick up, but you're really hoping for Reflect the Fairy at this point to get in full dick shake mode.
Yeah,
we're getting closer.
Yeah, with life and starting with the candle, he's only across away for full Joshy D, though. But that really won't help him complete the game. Alright, I believe that's the swamp right there. No, I guess that's the same swamp as before. And we're going to get a Palace 1 crawl now.
Tristal has not picked up the magic key, though.
No.
So...
well, dude's looking frantically for Mito. Tristal gets one key in his favor. There it is, right there. And he's going to use the key right away. So by walking left here, if he uses this key and walks right into the item room, he's got to go back and find another key, and hopefully not have key blocked himself. Do you think it's more fortunate if he does key block himself because it forces him to explore? Moot point, but...
not particularly, just because Palace 1's so short anyway.
Okay. Well,
at this point, if I'm in here, I want to finish it. And Palace 1's about the only one that you have a decent chance of beating without Fairy or Magic Key.
Well, he's definitely guaranteed himself he's going to clear it now because he picked up the second key. Well, I guess not, because he can always get the item first before he gets the other locked door. Alright, so down stab for Simple and an up A. Let's see what he decides to do now. Looks like fire with spell. Okay, Link. Thank you. Well, we don't have the glove, and we haven't really harped on that yet. So that fire as spell might be a good thing for that. Alright, so with this key, Tristal guarantees himself he's able to get the item and complete the palace. Nice little guardian blocking it, though. Oh, they do have the spell. You're right.
Blue Iron Knuckles actually easier without the glove, because otherwise you would be accidentally breaking blocks above his head.
Nope. Tristal takes the death going down that elevator. 2 lives left, and there's no reason not to think he can't get through his palace with both lives. Shield.
Yeah, it's not what you're looking for either. So, spells we don't know about are Nukasudo and I guess, oh my gosh, Mito. And one of them's Fairy and the other one's Reflect.
Yeah, we have not seen Nukasudo yet. Could be Reflect or Fairy and the glove.
You know, it is a pretty decent chance that we're medicine blocked, and who knows what that could be. At this point, we've seen everything but the Western Peabank Cave and items and palaces, so...
Hammer Cave and the water tile, if we find the
yes.
boots. Both items in Nukasudo. Yeah, and every item in every palace, except for the one Tristal just got.
You can't call that an item. It's kind of an item, but not really. It's really a shame.
I was going to say early on, it's not that much of a shame, but it's really not that early on, 46 minutes. It's probably starts to get painful after the, 20-minute threshold.
We just don't have much right now.
Yeah.
We got a few spells, but... And I guess Magic Key, because Tristal's going to be finding that very soon. Assuming he doesn't inexplicably up A here.
Well, he gets a win in the column.
Or die to Horsehead.
Yeah. Gets a nice, nice little notch in the belt, nice little win, places a gem. He placed the gem, not Simpoldood. Just fix that, and away he goes. And there's your magic key. Right on that desert tile. Alright, so it does not appear that Tristal took the level at the gem, because he's got a ton of experience right now and just added 500 more to that.
He did not. He's banking on trying to get another attack level here.
Yeah, and just one more P-bag right on the Eastern Continent will get him that level.
Meanwhile, Simpoldood takes 2 encounters only to find a dead end.
Nukasudo is really just right there.
It was. See how many magic containers it takes.
Oh, at least 6.
6 or less.
Not only was it right there, but it contained an item both players have been looking for.
And now Tristal's hands will be warm. Don't have to worry about cold Hyrule nights.
Well, one hand. Do you think it's a pair, though, and it just kind of looks like one for maybe, like, image reasons on the website?
I'd probably call it a pair, just because if we, think about how A Link to the Past does it, is that A Link to the Past, that's only one glove, too. But he lifts things up with both hands.
Yeah, and you can find the second glove, and it would kind of be unfortunate if they were both, like, righty gloves, you know what I mean?
That's true. Luckily, they're handy gloves,
So glove, fairy, and whatever else we have here. And boots would be like the biggest dream town ever. It's the horn.
Play sweet, sweet music now, I guess.
Yeah. But I don't really recommend playing musical instruments wearing a glove.
Well, it might have holes in it. For the fingers.
Yeah, Or drums, I guess, are perfectly acceptable wearing gloves. All right, gloves and music has its uses. You've convinced me. Try to find the second item here for Simpoldood.
Also, if you've ever had the choice of being in marching band and having to do it on very, very cold winter days, you find a way to make gloves work.
Yeah, no, definitely gloves would probably be ideal then. See, I'm just considering playing musical instruments in my parents' basement is basically how I was looking at it, but... Alright, let's find the second item here.
I honestly don't remember what the second item was.
Did we find it, though? There's 2 on Maze Island. That puts 3 on the Valley of Death. I just remember the magic container in the magic container area. I don't know if we have arrived on the second item yet. Tristal died before he got there. And Simpoldood's still looking, so I guess it is still out there.
Simpoldood will not be game overing, though, just because he decided to up A at Palace 2.
So somewhere there was in... You're pretty sure Tristal got both? Oh, he did get both. You're right. It was the one up, and we made fun of him not taking it, and then he died right after. So Simpoldood's on the lookout for that one up.
And Simple's a little bit confused here because he thought he checked everything, but has only found the one drop.
Well, Tristal is going to up A here. Glove in hand. Palace 1 down. Maybe he's going to start working on palaces now. 5 and 3 or 6. We can't identify either. We can't identify 3 on Valley of Death. It's still up in the air whether it's 3 or 6. One of them is on the Western continent. The other one's in the Valley of Death.
Valley of Death is Palace 4.
Is it Palace 4? I'm sorry. Maze.
It is.
Okay.
Also, we have Simple diving in 2 without the glove. See if his... We'll hope he doesn't get glove blocked.
Alright, Tristal's gonna do a little work over here, turning in the trophy. Get himself the shield spell.
So we have Reflect that's medicine blocked, correct?
Yes, because Fairy was in Yukasuto, yeah.
So that's likely the item in Palace 5.
Well, I mean, considering it's Reflect, it could be 5 or 4.
That's true. So why would you... If you checked every other place except Palace 5 and Palace 4 for the item you know that blocks the Reflect spell, which one would you check first, Larry?
Well, I mean, going along with your earlier point when I asked you a question, I would probably do 4, even though I can't complete it, because it's a little bit of knowledge. If I don't find the item, I'm probably finding Karok, and I can get there faster the next time through. But if I do find the item, it's like I'm going in the same direction, so I can find something that helps me. If I'm going in 5 can go in any direction.
Right. I'd probably also check 4 first. We have a Boots in Palace 2.
Did you see anywhere in the overworld where the Boots is easily... Well, I guess the Boots going to Peabag Cave would be something that might be a thing. But do you see anywhere else where that would help Simpoldood out?
I mean, it'll be a faster trip to Mito for turning in those... turning in that medicine.
Water tile
Except,
is also...
except that was Saria, so never mind. I got a little bit confused about towns on the west, because if I don't even map the overworld when I'm actually playing the game, why would I map the overworld while I'm doing commentary?
Yeah, it's even hard to do if you tried. But he does not need the glove in 2, and that's a good thing. One of the points I made earlier in the other game was, what is your opponent doing with the item you haven't found yet that you're still trying to find? And one of them would be like, you know, you getting blocked in 2 because you couldn't find the glove, and eventually have to waste time in up A, and that's not a thing here. As he places his first gem.
So Boots in 2 is actually a pretty nice find for Simple, because he's likely going to want to look for that second item on Maze Island, and now with, you know, Boots, he can walk along the river to help us search.
Yeah, there is that water tile. It was available in the first area of the eastern continent, I believe. A little bit southwest of where Maze Island is. And he's doing just that. He's going to walk around, look for this other item. There it is. No, that's the first item. My bad.
It's the first item. I really don't remember what the second one was. Because I know Simple's very well already checked that.
Is it really, like, blocked by 2 encounters on either side?
No.
No.
Because he's already been up this way, he just forgot. So
Okay.
He's unfortunately wasting his time here.
Yeah, I think he died in this cave once before, and I was gonna in this encounter once before, and I was gonna ask you the question: is he fighting too much? But before I did that, he got out of the encounter. Well, he up A's.
I don't know whether he's updating out of a hope that it's not required, or what, but we know it's a little digger, so...
It could be an up A to get to this cave right here, P-Bag Cave, in hopes that it is the glove.
This is not P-Bag Cave.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
Because this is a pass-through cave, but this pass-through cave leads directly to one of the hammer block caves.
Which he does have the hammer now, you're right.
Which he does have the hammer now, so... Don't turn around on me, dude. Make me look smart.
I think it's still
Oh,
inconclusive.
he's turning around on me, dude. No! Killing me here. Oh, this is...
Well, he could still be going in the... I mean, with the boots...
He could be going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he also did see the boulder in easily accessible in Death Mountain as well, so chances are he's going to go through. Oh, I was walking towards the raft spot, or a palace.
Also, we're being yelled at for us not knowing what fire is.
I'm going to assume that they're not yelling at you, probably me. But we can't, yeah, you know, we'd only be guessing at this point. We haven't seen really either runner committed to trying to find out what it was. Probably narrowed it down to reflect their life. It's hard to say. I mean, I've tried to narrow it down when I'm playing and somehow get it wrong. Dude's gonna go into 5 here. He's got that I want to place a gem bug.
It is a palace he can complete, so...
Yeah, I've seen him do it worse. And earlier today, I believe somebody also did it. No, they didn't.
Is that simple testing fire? He didn't do it with enemies on screen though, so.
Yeah, and he did it with full life. So it's not shield, it's not jump, it's not fairy.
Because best case scenario, it's reflect, but. Unfortunately for our players, the drippers are not randomized.
No.
They're bots.
Although sometimes I think that is our item in 5. It's nice and quick to arrive upon. Especially for Simpoldood, who still doesn't have the glove. He doesn't have to waste a lot of time in 5.
It's a heart container. Because I think best case scenario for Simpoldood would that have been the medicine, and that fire would be linked to life.
Yeah, Tristal, I believe, might have been casting life. So if it was life, we might have known that already. He's going to cast it now. He took a stab at that jar, and I didn't see him use fire. All right, he's in 6 now.
He is in 6. I was about to say that. Beat me to it.
Is this Western Continent?
I don't know that.
Okay. We'll say it is. Oh wow. Look how quick this 6 is.
More importantly, 6 is glove locked.
Yeah, that is entirely accurate with the BGT room standing in the way. Trista will get to try that one again. So quick item for Simpoldood relative to the layout 5 could, has a chance to present to generate. How quick will Guma be? It's going to be an interesting question. Where was Life? Life was in Darunia, and Kid was in Medicine Cave. Just making sure
and Simple has not checked any of the hammer blocked areas yet.
No, remember when Tristal took that game over and went back to the West after just getting the hammer, he didn't initially check anything either. So it's kind of odd that both players didn't do either. Didn't check anything with the hammer.
I tend to think Simple had the intention to, and then he decides this is Palace 5, I can do it.
Yeah, maybe forgot his way to the cave. Went in and out of that one cave when you were mentioning that, and then wound up over in the ref spot. Maybe just decided, hey, instead of searching a little bit more, let me just do this. And speaking of doing this, Tristal's done with Palace 6. All right, so 6 was in the West. Now he's going to be entering 5. And I believe it forces you left on a couple different paths here. Oh, no, there is a right-hand turn. But this might be into the those 2 breakable block column rooms. No.
Right.
Nope, I'm wrong. Well, there's 2 of them. If I keep saying it, I'll eventually be right. But there is Goomba for Simple, and then relative to 5, I believe this is about...
This is one of the less trolly 5s.
Yeah.
That is... We'll hope he doesn't game over and see if he remembers his way through. Unfortunately, only doing this at attack 3. Attack 3 is only twice as powerful as attack 1.
He might be able to get a hit up to 4 times with shield, though. Maybe 3 total. No, this would be the 4th one if he gets hit here.
More hit how to do it.
There it is.
Simpoldood showing his combat mastery.
Yeah, and now he's going to give a little something for all those people who don't like to, when other people grind. He's going to go kill the Stalfos, get the 10 XP, and then take that attack level, and then take whatever at the gem, probably.
I'm probably going to take a life level here. But it's definitely not a bad call to do that. Since he was right there, it's not like you're grinding a bubble.
Yeah.
And it's only one enemy, so it's not like you're going back 3 rooms to get that level.
It was 5 XP, as opposed to maybe 205, where you'd have to arrive at some decision. And there he goes. Palace 5 down. He's not going to do anything with the hammer, and he's going to go back east. And then he's going to go back west. So just checking to make sure the animation of the raft tile works in both directions. I believe as soon as he... at least I'm just going to assume, talk for him, that as soon as he used that raft, he's like, wait, I have the boots. I can just walk north here. And then went back and did just that.
Could have checked the water tile though, but that's an easy check when he decides to go back. So, if I recall correctly, just to the northeast of where Simple is one of the hammer block caves. There it is.
And again, with the quick 5, Tristal made his way to Goomba with no problem.
Did not find the item though, so I'm interested to see if he chooses to go back for it. If he lives.
I need to ask, does he have... There's the pea bag from Heart Container Cave.
It doesn't even take it. It said nope. It's only 200 points too, so... unlikely that Simple will... level with or without it, because I would assume there'll be an up A in this future after he checks a couple of other things.
So here's the scenario for you as it plays out right now regarding your question of what Tristal is going to do with the item. He still has no Baru to check. 1 free spell. He doesn't have Fire, and Reflect we know is in Mito. Are you going back into 5 for the item on that chance you're going to happen to get the medicine?
No.
Okay.
Five is one of the last places I'll check.
Yeah, and we saw that in the race yesterday as well. That unfortunately had a required item. But an early path to Goomba. And that basically, at the 10-15 minute mark, set the tone for the rest of the race.
So Simple's a little lost and confused, I think.
So Sleepy Mario has a question there, and I'm going to address it because it had to do with the race before he was in. If you can enter Great Palace but don't have upstab yet, what do you do? Mario, in that room that you got out of there in Great Palace, upstab was not required. You definitely go in without upstab. A lot of players do that to save time. because it's not all the time that upstab, and it's very few times upstab is even required. There's a false floor in that room that you got out of that you can jump through or fairy through. But most of the time, if a player does not have upstab by the time they arrive at needing to go into Great Palace, and they have no business going into Darunia to turn in, you know, the kid for Thunder, they just go into Great Palace.
And I believe even the vertical column blocks, if you have to go in from right to left, if you have the jump spell, it takes a little bit of finagling, but you can get through that as well without upstab.
See, that's the only room where it doesn't matter what I say that somebody jumps down my throat. And I'm not saying you. I'm just saying this is a carryover conversation from the race before. I feel like it's one column too high for that to happen with the combination of jump, breaking the block over your head, not breaking the block over your head without jump, and then jump breaking the block over your head. But
this is me trusting people because this is what I've heard.
Okay.
Because I haven't actually done it myself.
I did a little science, and if you're breaking the block above your head with jump, if you're making like a one-tile platform on the bottom for yourself, breaking the block, the two above that, breaking the block above that without jump, then breaking the two highest most column blocks to the left. Now you're standing on two blocks. You can break the block above your head without jump, cast jump, break the block above that, and you still don't have room to fairy through. And I'm not sure how you're going to get the block above that. But again, it's never like, you know, somebody's always saying something else that somebody says about that room, so who knows? We need Unos to get on the case with some sort of like what he did with Fairy Feet, some sort of acceleration numbers. Do a little testing. He's the guy for that.
So Tristal's having fun with Valley of Death encounters. Meanwhile, Simple, I think, is a little lost. I think he's looking for hammer-blocked caves, but he's not 100% sure where they are.
And that's your play here, right?
Yes. Also, I'm not sure anyone's ever checked that cave just to the right of where Simple just was. Because I don't remember anyone ever going there.
Well, as far as we know, there's still that P-Bag
just on the
cave.
lake.
Yeah.
Yes. As far as I know, the hammer block cave is actually southwest of where Simple is. At least the one he hasn't checked yet. Because I know Simple's checked this one.
Yeah, it's the one he walked up by the raft spot, right? Initially,
yes.
By start was the other one.
And Tristal finds Palace 4 and decides upbays immediately because he does not have Reflect.
No. His only business in there is if he feels like Reflect could be the item. He's got the magic key. If you're trapped in Valley of Death right there without the medicine, and let's assume you knew the medicine led to Reflect, are you just gonna, since you're there, are you gonna just poke through?
Probably.
Okay. And I'm asking for a friend because, you know, he wants to get better at this game.
I probably wouldn't go to Palace 4 without Reflect, though, unless I was absolutely... unless it was just, like, it's either that or Diving Death Mountain or Diving Palace 5 for the item.
Yeah, I feel like getting trapped there because of Valley of Death and not wanting to walk out. You know, for my efforts of getting there, having to up A and then leave right away, I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll just check. But if I just walked onto it, if it was just in a regular spot on the continent, I probably wouldn't go in without Reflect.
Simple's finally had enough of just looking for stuff in the west. Decides to go east.
And here's our look at the water tile.
Big bucks, no whammies. And that's kind of a whammy.
Yeah, unknown to him, though, if he needed 7 of them to get the glove. But now that he's got 7, maybe he'll put a priority on Nukasudo. And the old lady is holding the glove, but we'll go in 4. Or we'll go check to see what this is.
I think Simple's actually found all of the palaces, so by process of elimination, he should know that is 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe he did confer with his notes there and find out that it had to be 4, and he's not even going to take the walk there. So best thing for him is to have the memory of just picking up that magic jar and putting a priority on finding Nukasudo here. And it was in an area he's been in several times before, just a little bit to the north. Or maybe even on screen. I don't think he's tried to walk north from the raft tile, because I think this might be the first time he's been on the east. After getting
He's been to Palace 1. He's got the magic key.
Yeah.
There's just one little spot he didn't check.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I believe, oh my gosh.
No,
this was Firetown.
Yeah, that's what Tristal didn't check. This is what Simpoldood found early when Tristal found Maze Island. But I believe after getting the boots from 2.
You don't have a life spell, Simple. You can always cast fire and check. But nope.
He did, thank you, Rose City.
Simple, you've been through this one. But we're gonna check it again just to be thorough and just kill stuff.
Yeah, I believe the right area was the walk around by Maze Island.
Yes.
Where no cave was required.
As far as I know, he does have a plunger though, so it wouldn't surprise me if the River Devil would provide access to it from Simple's location. He heads a little bit to the east. Gets sniped by Scorpion Max. That guy's a jerk.
Yeah, he really is.
Could let me win, and then I could have, been in a single elimination bracket and not had to worry about next week. But no! Except that was my own fault. I forgot Glove.
I'm gonna blame Max though.
It's a lot more trendy to blame Max.
Oh, absolutely. It's Palace 2 down for Tristal, so.
Did not get the item though. I wouldn't surprise me if he went back for it, just because this is one of the easier palaces to find the item in. Generally.
Again, there's that 50-50 situation with Tristal where he might gamble that Nubaru has Reflect. But whatever it is, he's not going back into 2.
We at the very least know the boots aren't required, so.
Well, I mean, if the P-Bag Cave is boot blocked and it contains the medicine.
That's true.
I really don't have...
I think I know where P-Bag Cave is, though. It's just, I believe it is actually north of one of the towns on the western continent that is not boots blocked.
Yeah, the one
because I noticed the cave that I'm pretty sure neither player has been in.
Yeah, you did mention that before when Simple was looking for the boulder block caves. Well, here's our first look at 3.
We got Simple taking a roundabout way back to where we think he needs to go.
This was the happening spot here. This is Roppongi. This is where everything was. Every place you want to be in one area. Here's Kasuto. I think it's like right north. Just got to scroll your screen north there. But Simple finds 3. Thinks about it.
Chooses not to.
Yeah, he's going to recheck Darunia.
Does not have a kid yet. Here's Palace 1.
Oh yeah, that's right, he passed this up to get the magic key. And then up
Yeah,
8.
he got the magic key and then basically up 8, which really surprised me, so... I haven't been paying too much attention to Palace 3 here, but we've gone through 2 glove-blocked rooms now. Whether that was the only path or not, I actually don't know.
No, we found the item room. So it couldn't have been... He had to have an option somewhere. It's the, well, the candle. We'll say the candle. Will be nice.
I got spoilers. You're a little bit ahead of me, but that's fine.
Okay,
At least
well,
for Tristal.
I'll,
Let me restart his, or refresh him. Maybe. I'm not gonna worry about it.
I have him at 122. Well, sorry, 122, 16, 17, 18.
Yeah, it's about 7 seconds ahead of me, but that's fine.
Yeah, Simple doesn't have a timer, so I can't sync them both.
Palace 3 lava bots. Always fun. Never fun.
Hey, when doing a normal run, what's the one like minor inconvenience that seems to like a lava bot or something? Like just it shouldn't be hard, but because of the RNG, like it's frustrating sometimes. Is there one particular thing more than others that does that to you?
Lava bots are probably the big thing, just because it's... We know it's not trivial, but it feels like such a waste to just wait for them for it to be quote-unquote safe.
Mm-hmm.
So... Simple has killed Horsehead, but it decides that he needs to find the item.
Yeah, item and 50 XP. Maybe to get to that threshold.
50 XP will get him to life 6. He chose to not take the magic level, but there's nothing he really thinks he needs to be casting magic for at the moment, so...
Meanwhile, Tristal does Palace 3. Simpoldood arrives at the item in 1. And he just got dig shook. He's gonna up A without placing the gem? Nope.
He's placed the gem, he just hasn't...
Oh, okay.
He just chose not to take Magic 5, and now he's going to kill this blue Iron Knuckle and get his experience, and probably up A after that.
No, now he's got 300 to worry about, but, you know, because that bring him less than 200 to the attack, but he'll just take the life and up A. Probably the good decision, but a player my skill level probably just struggle with making that one.
So it's a bit unfortunate Simple has the boots here, because we know he needs to go to New Kasuto, but he does find the raft tile, so he knows that he can get back up here much easier than he has been.
Yeah, I have the unfortunate feeling that he feels like he's cleared this area, and he's not scrolling the screen north. He's just continuing to go south, whether it's to the east or to the west. He's going to recheck this town. And he might recheck Kasuto over here. Because that was 3. And he's just going to try 3. Meanwhile, Tristal's looking for a way back to Valley of Death, I assume. Because he knows 4 is there. And he doesn't have the boots, and he's going to be met with a dead end over here.
He's probably looking for Nibiru?
Oh, that could be true, too. Yeah, right.
Which we know Simple got there through a pass-through cave.
Yeah, because he doesn't have Reflect. Pass-through cave? No, it was right. Wasn't it right there at the raft tile? As you're walking towards Maze Island, you just had to go a little bit north in like a little inlet of mountain?
Nope.
Okay.
He went through a pass-through cave to get there. He's been through 2 pass-through caves to get there.
That is correct. Neither player has found the Hammer Cave in Death Mountain. Or Peabag Cave. On the Western Continent. And as longer this race goes on, the more I'm questioning whether that's... But you missed it too, then. If that is true. Seeing somebody go in there.
Simple, no, don't go through this pass-through. Best thing that could happen to Simple here is that it leads to that dead-end cave that I think I saw earlier. Nope. Simpoldood fails to find New Kasuto again.
And Tristal Up Aid went back to the east, so Valley of Death is readily available as soon as he finds this reflex spell. That's probably the cave Simple went in to get to Nibiru. And I believe it is. I believe this is Kasuto Cave. I believe this is one of the paths.
We'll find out soon enough. We got Simpoldood next to Nibiru again. I gotta believe he's looking for New Kasuto right now. He just hasn't been able to quite locate it yet. And now we have Tristal in northern eastern Hyrule as well. And we know Nibiru is to the east of Tristal's location. But he's going to check west first. But it won't be too long before he finds it and realizes that... or gets his fire spell, which he will probably immediately check to see if it's Reflect. If possible.
Yeah, a little bit different mindset, knowing that fire is linked to a spell, getting it in the first several minutes of the race, or getting it, like, knowing you need another spell. There's a little urgency there to definitely identify what it is, especially if you've been casting spells and have not seen fire yet.
I try and check it early, although I'm very bad at identifying it, because when I got it, I thought it was linked to Reflect, and it was actually linked to Life.
I did the same exact thing because I cast Life, and I started swinging my sword, and nothing was happening early.
But I already had Reflect at the time, so...
Oh, did you?
It wasn't that big of a deal.
I don't know what happened. Like, I checked to see if it was spell because I got in a New Kasuto. You know, I didn't raise the tower. I cast Reflect and started shooting my sword. No fire. And then I got the light refill, and on my way out of town, I cast Life, started swinging my sword, no fire, and then it turned out to be Life. And it wasn't Thunder, because I took an encounter right away, and then it turned out to be Life later on, so I either didn't give it a proper Nair's fire right now. I don't know, something with the sword beams, fire sprite, something happened there, and I didn't see what it was.
All I know is that now I'm going to specifically check for life next time as well. Like, make sure I get hit before I cast it.
Yeah, I know somebody who likes to go into an encounter with an Aikman, and get hit and then cast it, because if it's spell, turns to a bot, thunder, it dies, reflect, he can block the fire, or if it's life, he goes back to full health, and I guess anything else is easily identifiable. So you can check it all in one place if you can find, you know, an Aikman.
Took the scenic route through Firetown. We also have not checked for fire on Tristal's side.
No, and knowing he needs reflect, you know, certainly is still getting items though, and because, you know, obviously he needs the medicine. So he found the trophy. He has not found the boots to find the water tile. He got the magic key. I'm just looking at his options here. Spell tower was the flute, and he got that. He saw that one up in 1.
Got Simpoldood peeking in 6. We know Barba is glove blocked.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, he's going left.
Best thing that could happen for Simple here is to find a whole bunch of dead ends.
Yeah, the quicker he can identify he can't do anything, the better it off is for his chances of success.
And or find the medicine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's true. Medicine in 6.
That's assuming that that reflects not linked the fire.
I almost think it has to be, though. Because we had a situation where they didn't turn into bots. We've seen Tristal cast life, and he didn't shoot fire when he grabbed did it at a boss and went to grab the key. They've been using thunder, although I guess I can't confirm they tried to swing a sword afterwards, but I don't know. And here's Tristal on Death Mountain right now. And the other end of it that he was in before, maybe? No, I think this was the end he was in before. Then he had to go the long path to get to the Spectacle Rock. But we have the Rebo pass-through. And we don't know much about this Palace 6 era because Tristal just walked right and got to Barba.
Wait a second.
Yes.
Didn't Tristal fight this Rebo before Barba? So maybe
No.
it's not blocked? Or am I thinking a different race?
I'm not sure. He got the Barba really quick, right through the BGT room, and we just saw the BGT room, and then Simple went a different way. I think you might be thinking of a different race, because I don't believe I saw him.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a different race. I'm thinking of the end of the, I caught the very end of the Countess Sleepy Mario race. And Barba, right before Barba was...
Well, how about this for a turn of events?
Have an item room for Simple.
Shield is fire. I mean, Reflect is fire. Tristal just cast it and blocked an axe.
And shakes his head approvingly.
As Simpoldood finds the item in 6, which is just a heart container. So that had a potential to be a huge swing right there, and then just went full out the opposite direction. Heart container.
Simple up A's out.
What are you doing? I guess he's got that one cave that's blocked by a boulder. He's got everything in Death Mountain. New Kasuto is 2 items right to him as well, and a spell. Because he's not really on the hunt for the medicine. Because he can still get it in 2 towns.
He's on the hunt for the glove, so...
Yeah. And he just maybe gave up the search of New Kasuto and is going to hope that in conceding, he doesn't actually need to go back to do it.
And we have Simple going through Death Mountain.
Hopefully I muted every single right place. Apologies if you heard me sneeze dramatically right into the microphone.
No,
Okay.
we didn't. I didn't.
I mean, I tried to mute in as many places that I could, and then just on the chance that something might still be live, I decided to sneeze directly into the microphone. So I had everything covered. But Simple is, in fact, in Death Mountain, as Tristal is in 4. Is 1 dead end. 3 dead ends, along with the item room and the boss. You'll find by going towards the right.
Also, wouldn't surprise me if Tristal decided to skip out on the item room. Although I hope he checks it just to see if it's the medicine.
I gotta tell you, one of my biggest problems is, like, I know fires reflect now, but was the medicine in 4 required for reflect to beat 4? Like, I need to know, and I probably would go check it and then lose a race by 20 minutes because of it. HN, I would probably put it as a priority, knowing that I need Nucasudo and it's 1 spell and 2 items. One of the unfortunate situations here is that Simpoldood has 2 items in Death Mountain to find. He's got 1 cave on the Western Continent to find. He's got...
Theoretically, 2 caves on the Western Continent.
Yeah, 2 caves, because 1's blocked by the boulder as well. I was counting
Yes.
the 1 we haven't seen. So he's got scattered items available anywhere, and he gave a good enough search for Nucasudo to where I think he just gave up and is hoping that he doesn't need it, because he can't find it. And he needs to move on to do something else.
Still, Nucasudo would be #1 priority.
Oh, absolutely. But he did give it a fair effort. See, you can go around. I don't know if he took the boots around Maze Island there. So there's no new players playing this game. If you had the boots, it opens up a lot in Death Mountain to go around checking all the caves that are, share a coast on that eastern side there where you can freely walk up and down.
Simple hasn't checked one of the caves on Maze Island as well. So...
Yeah, that's right. There's another option for him, that little digger. The whammy. Meanwhile, Tristal's taking the first of the drops down to the right. And Carrick. So he needs to go back and find out what this item is for us, but he's not going to do it.
I wouldn't do it.
No, I probably wouldn't do it either, but I don't know. I've done dumber things. As long as I say it's dumb in chat, then I justify it. There you go. Here's the last gem placement for Tristal.
Simple up A's out of Death Mountain in order to avoid the lava bath. Even though he still had a life to live. Tristal takes his magic level. We'll immediately up A and head the Great Palace.
Yeah, he's got to pass Valley of Death on the way to the walk up to Great Palace, so I don't know how much time he's actually saving by taking the up A there instead and going back to the west instead of up Aing and walking through.
What do you mean Great Palace is in the west?
I'm sorry, I said west, but I mean east. He's got to pass through Valley of Death to get there. I believe, right? That was the seed, wasn't it? Raft spot, walk directly east, get to the coast, walk north, and then Maze Island. Great Palace is up there by Maze Island.
No. Great Palace is in the west.
Well, that is true. Why did I think it was up there? You know what? It must have been up there last race.
Simpoldood finally finds Medicine Cave. He's going to be sorely disappointed by whatever he finds here.
Actually, I don't know if he is, because it's going to be the kid. So it's going to be hopeful for Reflect at least.
That's true.
But then I don't know the correct term for this. White whale, red herring, whatever it is. It's leading him into the wrong path of security. So there's this kid. Meanwhile, Tristal is in Great Palace up A's.
It will be good because if he decides to go cash it in, it'll at least send him back east, back towards New Kasuto, potentially. Because if I remember right, Darunia is in the vicinity of New Kasuto.
Yeah, and he had to scroll the screen more north to get there than the other town would. No, Kasuto, it was the one. See, that's the problem. It was the more southern of the towns in that area. So he doesn't even have to scroll the screen up at all. So he might not even see it.
But if he's in that area, he may choose to actually continue exploring there.
Yeah.
Considering he has a whole bunch of other options.
So there's our questionable upstab, downstab room into a fairy room right there, and then down to the elevator room. So we have plenty of options here. Initially, before Thunderbird, we'll just keep on the path to the right. It is a dead end. I also fear that Simpoldood's going to go into Maze Island. Now that you mentioned that, he hasn't gotten one of those items yet. So instead of going up and left, we'll just go left. And we're going to take our first, I believe, drop here. Opens up another path to the left. And yet another path here in this elevator room. Either up or right, whichever way he decides to go. How do you systematically do Great Palace? Make rights when you can. If you can't, go up or down so you can go right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's no real. I mean, unless you're just going to just try to defy odds for the sake of it. I guess there's no real reason not to. It goes into the jar statue room that has an elevator down, but then decides to go up instead in the previous room. Gets into the Jacquemus room. Once again, another option on the table. And then has to make a decision whether he wants to drop or not. And looks like he's going to. Into the no jar room, into the Jacquemus room, so that's a nice little loop. Nice and quick and dirty.
At least there was a short loop.
And he's going to go right back into the drop room here. So he's going to completely work on lap 2. But no, he realizes it and he leaves.
I think Simple might have actually got a glimpse of a town up there. Maybe, if he was paying attention.
Nope, he goes down again.
He knows the Rooney is up here, but
Yeah.
he did actually scroll New Kasuto on screen.
Did he? Okay.
For just a split second.
Yeah, Kasuto, New Kasuto, and Daruni are all there. Okay, we're back in this jar room, so we're going to go down, elevator room, another path. A couple of them closed up with that loop, though. And continue to go right. There'll be one chicken in this room. With an elevator down. Haven't seen a waffle room, I don't believe. Initially, I missed the first couple of rooms. But here's one now.
Give a life spell pickup for Simple.
Tristal takes a death in the waffle room, so he'll try it again.
Simple must not have got a glimpse of that town. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But he is continuing to look in the east, so...
We have another drop room here. Goes into the jar drop. Tristal's going to go check, see if he can get it. 50-50 chance, but it's really 0%. And there it goes. Back into another jar room here.
So good news, everyone. Simpoldood has found New Kasuto.
Yeah, and at an hour and 46 minutes, he finally gets to the house that holds the glove he's been looking for.
If he had his webcam on, he's probably kicking himself right now, just because of how close he's been the entire time.
I believe he's making Link kick himself right there with the downward stabs. Another elevator room, huh? So we just looped around, I believe. So that's loop number 2. That goes all the way back to... there, right south of... So that whole Jacquemus area, left and right, or down and right, it just loops within each other. So we got to get
so
left and fairy.
As some people would say, always left at fairy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tristal looks confused.
Yeah, because he's in like a never-ending, everything looping in the same area section of this Great Palace, and there's really only one way out of it. And you got to go back quite a ways to get there.
It'd be fast to up A at this point.
Oh, absolutely. I think the fairy room was only 3 rooms in. Now, if he does stay here for a while, I mean, Simple definitely could make short work of 6.
I'm not sure he knows that fairy is linked to reflect, or fire is linked to reflect.
That's true. He might start looking for medicine, but he might have immediately ruled that out without him having a voice that we can collaborate with. He might have cast it and ruled it instantly.
We do have the up A on Tristal's side.
Yeah, he'll go down to this theater room here, then he'll go into the upstab room, and then down into the fairy room. There was one other...
I'm calling an Eon drop immediately.
Well, there was one other area where if you went down from the fairy room left, and then you took that drop in the 7L L7 room, he could have gone left there as well. And that might be where he's going now. Left to the drop. No, right's a dead end. Left to the drop, and then left when you drop. I believe those are the only 2 paths that are open right now. Alright, so we're going to take a left here. See if we can get your Eon drop prediction. But that was after the fairy room, right? Oh, is it dead end?
That was after the fairy room.
So, Eon drop... Well, one of the drops is going to drop there. So if Eon drop is after the fairy drop and he takes it, he might wind up down here. It wouldn't be the worst situation in the world, but if both drops are after Thunderbird, then it's a little questionable. He's going to go back here to the right. And it's going to put him right in an elevator room that's going to lead to the Jackamus room if he goes up or if he goes right, I believe. And I think the left loops around to... I don't know, I marked an elevator room, but then I didn't put a branch to the left. So maybe this is an available path.
I don't think we've been in this waffle room yet, so...
Yeah, it's the Dark Magician waffle room, and I don't remember calling it out. Dick Shake, now that you're here, you're more than welcome to join me if you want to do it now, or we can just do it on your channel afterwards. It's up to you. Yeah, because I think this is the first time we've seen this false floor bridge room here. So he's going to go right. So it's probably a good choice instead of going left in the fairy room to backtrack here. And now we know it's the right choice. There is Thunderbird. So left in fairy room could lead to the Eon room, but most likely leads to like a little digger or something. Something nobody wants to see.
Simpoldood finds the item room in 3.
Yeah,
just the pee bag.
It looked like he did some quick math before he decided he wanted to take it or not. And then realized maybe it's better he takes it. I mean, he is simple. It is attack 4. He's perfectly fine with that. But if you don't have to be attack 4, it doesn't mean you should be doing it. So he might be trying to do like an attack 5. And then maybe parlaying it into 6 if he can, but that's going to be tough to do. Our last couple hits here for Tristal.
Couple 6 or 7 hits.
All depends on how the life bar wants to work today.
5 hits. 2 hits. That's a Thunderbird down. Now, how many rooms will we have before Dark Link? Anywhere from 1 to 10. I want to say 3. 3 rooms to Dark Link.
So you're predicting this room, go down, go to the right. You're not even going to put the Eon drop temptation in there?
Not even going to put the Eon drop temptation.
Look at that. Bold. Bold predictions.
It's going to be the one time the Eon drop doesn't work out. Although we got to get through this fun room first.
All right.
And I lose.
And Simpoldood gets through the Rebo fight and places the gem in 3. Or it does it now. So 6 is very easy. 4 took a little while to get the Carrack, but I mean the more important thing is Tristal has basically every room in Grey Palace accounted for at this point. Go left here, go down here, and then go right. Probably seeming like a good idea at this point.
Got Simple, trying to get 40 more experience for attack 5. Get 70. Now up ace. And up ace again. Expect them to go to 6.
Now here's our waffle room with the flying enemies. Tristal building a complicated path through the bricks. And here's an Eon drop. Uh-oh. I mean, if this goes drop room into drop room, we have a problem. Because one of them is going to take you on top of the L7 room. Can both sides of the L7 room, can one exist on one end and one exist on the other end? Behind Thunderbird and one in front of Thunderbird? don't know if I know that, but I guess it's moot.
Well,
yes, it can.
unfortunately for all of us, it's a dead end. So taking the Eon drop.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if we had two drop rooms there and he had to choose one, because we know we found a path that leads behind Thunderbird already that's unaccounted for dropping into. But top part of L7 into a elevator down room, into what's most likely a theater or a waffle room, and probably Dark Link thereafter. Here's our waffle room, and now here's where I just, for the hell of it, I'd love to see a room that requires fairy in the next room. Just, you know, throw that into the mix.
Got Simpoldood in 6. We know that he's on the path to Barba.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the race is Barba versus Darklink right now. Unfortunately for Simpoldood, fortunately for Tristal.
Tristal is on his last life.
It's like one of those unfortunate situations, because here's Tristal going to win the game, he's going to win the race, and everyone's probably watching Simpoldood's fight against Barba with the jackhammer. But Tristal is done. 1 hour, 56 minutes, 56 seconds. He'll be moving on to at 1 and 2. This drops Simpoldood to 0 and 3, unfortunately, and out of the tournament.
Still has one more round, but unfortunately, Simpoldood has been eliminated from contention into the.
More accurately, Simpoldood just threw the note down. He can't find the medicine. He's quitting. So I guess he does not know that Reflect is Thunder.
Hey, if I can't find meds, I'm quitting.
Oh, if I can't find meds. I didn't see the if. Let's see. The vision is going in the old age.
He's going to check Palace 4 immediately for it.
No, I mean, this satisfies our itch, though, doesn't it?
It does. We'll see if he actually checks fire if he having problems with the fairy feed though. But
and we are joined now by Tristal. Tristal, good game.
Congratulations.
Might take a couple attempts on Discord for.
I think we got it now. Sorry about that.
There you go. Congratulations, man.
Oh, thank you very much. Wow. That Grand Palace, though. Ugh. That's probably the worst one I've had yet in terms of just layout.
It seemed to go on forever. There was that one loop with the involving both sides of the Jackmas room that you just kept going back and back and back to. And
yeah, that confused the hell out of me.
Once you were able to eliminate that out of the equation, it was just a matter of finding the right path, but any available branch you found basically led you nowhere, so you had to explore most of them. That was, but I believe you handled it.
Yeah, apparently, I guess. Did the best I could.
What about the rest of the run? Anything that stood out to you as something that you thought you did extraordinarily well, or tripped you up a little bit?
I don't know if I could say extraordinarily well. The one thing I improved on since the last race for sure was figuring out that I was in go mode. Realizing that I could potentially complete the game with the items I had instead of trying to get all the items out of all the palaces. I think I only ended up getting 2 of the palace items, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I have 2 checkboxes. The one up that you didn't take, I think, in 1, and then the P bag in 3.
Yep, yeah, that's what I've got on my notes. So, some of the light bulb moment where I realized that fire was Reflect and I didn't have to go searching for the medicine anymore was that was nice.
So how did you arrive at that situation? I think we knew the exact moment, but once you got fire, what was because we don't think Simpoldood knows that either. And it's one of the biggest topics in chat since Simple picked it up at like the 30-minute mark. was
Oh wow. Okay.
was what is fire.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I cast it as soon as I got fire to try and figure out if there was some kind of visual cue to figure out if I had reflect, and I couldn't tell anything. And so my next step was basically try and test it. And it took me a little bit. And like, if fire wasn't reflect, if fire was like, I don't even know what it could have been at that point, because I felt like I kind of tested everything else. But I felt if the next step was like try and figure out where the medicine is if fire doesn't have reflect on it. And I felt like the best place to look was the second Death Mountain item I hadn't gotten. Of that will give me something to test it on.
Did you ever find the Peaback Cave in the west?
No, I think there was a cave back there that I missed. Did it have boots or something?
I think.
Or did that have the medicine? That's the medicine?
I think there was a cave just north of one of the towns that that's the Peaback Cave that neither you nor Simple checked.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
But we as commentators are trying to figure out did someone actually check Peaback Cave and we just didn't mark it down and catch it, or?
I thought I had covered everything on the Western continent other than the second Death Mountain item, but maybe not.
Well, it might be easy to count up here if I can count up all the, because we have the crust still missing, we have the medicine still missing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's one dollar store item missing. There's the one up. There's the candle bag. Well, that doesn't count. There's a pea bag there. And that would be 3. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it is thoroughly possible.
Inconclusive. I have notes and it's inconclusive. But yeah, we need to know. We actually need to know if the medicine's in 4. We were hoping that you went back to look for it, but you didn't. You decided to try.
No. That's like the worst place to check, right? You know, that's the last place I would have wanted to check is medicine in 4. Just to have to come back out and do it again.
But luckily, fire was linked to reflect, so that was not necessary.
Yeah, luckily
Although,
I
for our
paid attention
curiosity,
to some of
we
the...
really wanted to know.
Kind of need to know.
Yeah, of course. I'm curious myself, so I don't blame you.
By the way, to answer your question from before about the Peabag Cave containing the boots were actually in 2. And Simpoldood had those, and he was able to navigate around a little bit more comfortably, but I don't think he really arrived at anything except the magic container on the water tile, which may have tried to force his hand to find Nukasudo to find a glove, but he spent a long time, an hour and 40-something minutes, with not finding Nukasudo, and I think trying to find Nukasudo for a good sum of time.
Yeah, so my the biggest discovery for me was because I didn't have the boots, I needed to use a cave to get to Naburu. And so being able to figure out that there was no way to get to the north side of the continent other than through caves, and figuring out a cave that could potentially get me there and getting there on the first try was really nice.
So to the best of our knowledge, Naburu was actually cave blocked because you couldn't actually get up there with the boot either.
Do we know what the second item is in Death Mountain?
No.
We might find
out. We got
out.
Simple on Death Mountain right now.
Yeah, sounds like might be on his way.
He's going to grab that magic container in the Spectacle Rock now. But here's a question for you. You got the hammer in Maze Island.
Okay, there you go.
You got that hammer in Maze Island, then you took a game over, and you went right back to the west. And the first thing you did was you tried to dive into Death Mountain for a little while, and then I think you just started exploring other things. Was there any reason you didn't start checking those caves that you knew were boulder blocked instantly?
So one thing I have to improve on too is marking down where the boulder blocked caves are. I knew there was at least one in the north, and I also knew that the area that had the Death Mountain rock had a lot of caves linking to it. So I figured it wasn't going to be too tough to at least get the rock item, and if I happen to find wherever the hammer cave is, then that's a bonus.
Right, because Simpoldood did the same thing. He got the hammer, tried to look for that second item on Maze Island, still never found it. It was the one up that Well, actually, did you laugh at the 1-up and decide you weren't going to take it and then accidentally died, or did you backtrack to try to avoid the mace and accidentally died?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Let's just go with whatever option is worse.
Because we thought it was actually pretty funny when you saw the 1-up and decided to turn around, and then you took a mace to the face, and then game over. And we're like, all right, well, I guess maybe he shouldn't have laughed at that item. Because at that time, you didn't even check. I don't think you even poked your head in to see what the palace was.
No, I hadn't.
Yeah.
And that was a mistake, too. I probably should have done that because I eventually found out that the Valley of Death had Palace 4, and if I'd have known that, then I wouldn't have wasted my time doing that.
Oh, that's a good point. That's right. That was the last palace you arrived on.
I think the other problem with that plan, though, was that it was going to take a few minutes to backtrack to where I could island, because I was in a weird spot with where I was with the second item.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Simple did the same thing when he got the hammer. He went back to he up-A'd, not directly after, but a little bit after. He up-A'd, and then, because he couldn't find that second item, Amaze Island, and then did the same thing. He didn't go to either of the caves or the boulder, and I just, I guess not playing the game at the same time, I didn't really have a good feel of maybe there was a obvious reason why he did that as well.
The most basic reasoning I used was that I knew those north caves were going to take a while to get to because we were just the map was just so single pathed, kind of. Just to get to the northeast was going to take a few minutes, whereas the very first cave, short of the central palace, was the Death Mountain entrance. So I figured that was, I'll just do whichever one is closer.
Right.
I'm curious myself. I just joined the see where the other item is in DM, because I checked quite a bit of it, but obviously not all of it.
Well, he also found a couple of caves along the coast of Death Mountain and actually walked on the water a few times.
Yeah, because he's got the boots. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but he never used the boots to go fully up and down the coast to check all the caves immediately available there. He just kind of stepped onto the water, stepped back out, maybe to avoid an encounter.
Quite a few caves on the water. I don't know if he got all of them, but he checked quite a few, actually.
Oh, did he? Okay. This time around or the prior time?
Prior time.
Okay.
I assume it's possible for one of the waterlocked caves in Death Mountain to have the item.
Yes.
Since it's not something required, obviously.
I mean, between you both, that first area had a lot of caves in it and such like that. It just might be one of those situations where you have to find that exact cave to get through to find another exact cave to then...
Yep. Yeah.
But another issue he's facing right now, he's got a scattering of items in this assortment of places. And only one thing to find. And no one knows where it is. So it could have been in that Hammer Cave or Palace 4. And
you can quit restreaming, Larry, if you want to.
Yeah. No, I'd never do that. We want to watch this guy play because even though he's going to be second place in this race, like he can still amaze us and entertain. Well, I mean, I'm definitely not. Well, he's going to go back into 6 here. No.
Yeah, he's in 6.
Yeah, this is 6.
We found the item in 6, though.
We did. It was the heart container, and he found it.
Yeah, I didn't find it. He already has the item here. Yeah, I was very heart container short, too. Which is why the Thunderbird fight completely amazed me because it was kind of all or nothing. I think I was down to my last life. And with only 5 heart containers, that's very tough for me. Even on 6 attack, I think I had. That's pretty rough.
Heart container in 5, heart container in 6.
Okay. Well, yep, I skipped both of those.
You got the one in Magic Container Cave, and then I guess there's still one out there along with the flute and the medicine. The cross and the medicine, sorry. So you're kind of busy coming up here very shortly. A few of us are. Where
yeah, indeed. Yeah, 3 different tournaments coming up.
What is your third?
So there's Dragon Warrior Randomizer, Final Fantasy Randomizer in this.
Oh, that's right, Final Fantasy Randomizer.
Yep.
That's at least staggered a little bit, but Dragon Warrior starts this weekend, whatever.
I believe Friday is the preview show for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Simpoldood's gonna check Palace 4 for us. Simpoldood posted in SRL chat, if Palace 4 item is not medicine, I'm done.
I certainly have not been opposed to forfeiting my share of races when I'm not having fun and can't find the item, or realize the item is the absolute last place I decide to look and everyone else is like been done for a while. I need to know what this item is, though. So I'm glad he's going to check it.
I'm sure you guys saw me have considerable trouble with that particular fairy trick.
You know, Simple has as well.
It's not free.
One for one for my eyes. So good for him.
Yeah, it is not free. I've had some trouble with it lately, too, where I've gotten into a groove where I hit it pretty much a lot of the time. I've gotten in situations where I've missed 3 times in a row on Valley of Death, for sure.
No, I might be about 33% on it.
I was 100% at this. Oh, never mind. It's all that matters.
It's all that matters. You're right. There's the first of the dead end. I think you saw 2 dead ends or 3 dead ends before Carol.
So Simple.
I saw all 3 of them in 4. Yeah.
Simple has found 2 dead ends actually.
Oh, that was 2. Okay.
That's the second one for him so far.
Okay. So now I believe he's got to find that drop room, and that middle of the drop sequence brings him to the 3rd dead end, and then the bottom one brings you to Karok. But I believe it's in that bottom one where there's also a choice to take an elevator. That would probably lead to the item.
I need to learn how to beat blue Iron Knuckles in that tiny corridor like that.
It's not as
Those
hard
things
as you
just
think.
wrecked me this seed.
So, if you're on like these short ceilings, basically you hold down stab until you actually land a hit, and then once you're in his hitbox and have the iframes, then you just start mashing down.
Well, he did it without iframes that time. You just have to be really precise. You have to hit down.
The first hit's actually pretty easy.
See, the way I've been doing it is I've been hitting down like after I'm in the hitbox, but before I'm in the hurt box. I thought it had to be really precise.
No.
Okay.
Just hold down and you'll land a hit. And once you've landed that hit, that's when you can start doing your jackhammer. Because a lot of times, even I still do this sometimes, is that I start trying to jackhammer too early, and then it just
I thought it was basically just a precise placement sort of thing before you started jackhammering and getting the iframes. Well, there's the 3rd dead end, I think. So he's going the same path I did. That I didn't take in order to get the item because I never saw it. So maybe once he just goes up this elevator here. Well, obviously he's going left from here.
This is the top of the sequence to start dropping down. I wonder, did you arrive in the same direction? You did, right? Because I remember you dropping down.
I went this way, yeah.
I was going to say, I wonder if you had to ferry up and left, get an elevator that goes up here, and then take a right-hand turn.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Actually, I think this is likely
It's a big loop.
You know, honestly, I didn't even consider going this way.
Well, it loops with the bottom of the drop.
He needs to keep going left.
In that room?
There. Because if I remember right, this first drop going to the right leads to Carrick.
But if you drop from here, maybe something else happens.
Well, if you drop from here and then go right, you're at the top of the drop sequence. So you'd have to go left, like Ara just mentioned, once you drop down.
Well, I'm glad you guys know how.
So then you drop, you go left, and then you'll find a.
Yeah, because it's going to be the top of the drop sequence once he goes right here. He's going to be on the left side where he just ferried up.
Mm-hmm. So he needs to go left here.
Mm-hmm.
Which he may find a dead end and have to backtrack a little bit.
Wow, you guys are smart.
Yeah, you play the game enough.
But I expect this will lead to
Yeah, this is
another
the kind of
crumbling.
thing I just don't have the experience with here.
Because there's one left we haven't been in yet.
It's got to be really early on in the palace, right?
About in the middle. But there's one where players have gone to the right, and then they're forced left, and they take the drop. But they'll need to go left instead, which will probably lead into the double crumbling bridge, elevator down.
This one right here.
Yes. Not the exact path, but this almost certainly leads to the item room.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, well, we need to know. And we knew.
And it's the medicine.
I mean, of course it was. Simpoldood tries to do the medicine duplication trick right there. And it didn't work. He just has to take one. I think that was patched out.
And I still want to I want to tell him that fire's linked to reflect. That might crush him.
Wait, did he even take it?
He took it.
He took it.
Okay, I missed that. I was like, oh my god, this fight.
Yeah, he didn't realize he wasn't playing the FDS version, and he had to walk into it, and he finally did. Now the unfortunate part of going to get reflect and then come back, and he's walking towards the wrong town unless it's up and around here. No, up and around indeed. So Tristal, as somebody who doesn't play this game on the regular, how long did it take you to get used to the fact that in the newest version that fire was linked to another spell?
This race?
So in the
I
prior...
seriously did.
Okay.
Yeah, I seriously had no idea until I had watched some of the other commentated races. When somebody did that, I forget. I think it might have been also Fire and Reflect, and I was just mind blown. Like, what? How? What? This is new. I don't know anything about this. I need to read change logs.
Yeah, Digshake does a good job with the change logs in this game and keeping the wiki up to date on with all the options on the randomizer. So if nobody's really looked at it yet and still plays this game, I would recommend at least reading over it once over. Might pick up something you didn't know. And there's Mito right there.
And to think I was almost debating not going back to Mito until I had the medicine.
That would have been... We had the discussion about upstab, and do you get upstab without the kid since you have to go walk through the town and then walk out of the town kind of stuff. I believe downstab is almost an automatic. Like if you have the means to get downstab and you're in a situation where you can go a little bit off the path to get it, I think it's got to be an automatic. Because that first time through Maze Island, you did not have it, correct? And that probably knocked off some of your life, some of your health.
I'm not sure.
Because you picked up Jump in Kasuto, and that was north of Maze Island. So you had to pass Maze Island to get Jump, and then go back and get downstab to come back to Maze Island. So yeah.
I forget where the trophy was, so...
Trophy was in one of the eastern Peabag Caves, and I think right north of Maze Island as well, if I remember correctly. But all right, we got Reflect, and we're on our way. dip through the grass tile here and stuff like that. Is there anything that you consider? I know you talked a few times about working on things like tracking cave blocked by boulder locations and stuff like that. Is there anything that you really want to work on, or something that still
the
bothers
very
you?
biggest thing is leveling. So it looks like both of us are basically just going to finish at like 656 or whatever, something like that. Seeing people somehow get to like these weird levels, and that's just I don't know how that happens yet. And I understand like passing on things and then coming back with, and beating a palace and getting a bunch of levels that way, but I'm not at the skill level yet where I can survive being at like life 2 for very long. So I just can't structure it that way.
I think basic strategy when it involves that is you keep your magic at like magic 2, and then you can afford to get to life 3, life 4 sometimes, and then only need several hundred XP to always be getting the next attack level at the next palace. Sometimes the seed forces you a certain way. We have to take extra magic levels to be able to cast Fairy or Reflect if you want to do Palace 4 at that time and stuff like that. But Life 4 seems to be a little bit safe. Definitely under 1,000 in most cases you would need. But also, I have also seen like people just not care anymore with leveling. Like they don't really do that as a formula anymore. They just kind of arrive at the situation you do, and Simpoldood do's 556. That's more than enough. In terms of Great Palace, you don't really need attack. T-Bird fight.
you.
Well, T-Bird fight, and that's really it. You need life.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
You really need the life because you're going to need to be surviving hits you're taking on enemies you're not even trying to kill, than needing the attack on the enemies you're not even trying to kill. So I've seen a lot of people swing towards like, as soon as they get attack 4, then they start taking whatever, because then they're going to eventually get attack 5 from a gem. But I certainly also see the people that go right to attack 8, 2, 3, and then like have 3 more gems left to just do whatever they want to.
Yeah, it's interesting to try and look at like some of the better racers, the people who are 3-0 at this point. Look at their leveling strategy or just anything else they do, and try to adapt it to my own, knowing that I'm just going to die randomly all the time.
I mean, even with the 5 people, I believe, that are 3-0, there's still a variance on what people do. Like somebody like Dig Shake will just kind of be like always on the move, doesn't care what his levels are, because they'll naturally get to a level he's comfortable with in Great Palace anyway. You got someone like Nurm who will take a couple minutes to farm a dripper if it's dripping 200 point XP enemies.
Oh yeah, with the last race with the Magos that were 300 XP, man, I was debating. Like I watched that, and then I walked by a dispenser in like Palace 5 or 2 or something like that, and I was like, should I wait and see what's going on with this dispenser, because I'm not sure I ever saw what was out of it.
Yeah, they were bots.
I mean, that's like metal slimes for me in Dragon Warrior. Like, if you've got a metal slime dispenser, just stay there.
Yeah, exactly. But they were just regular bots in this seed. Very, very vanilla. Okay. Like, not worth it at all.
That's boring.
No, absolutely boring. And especially coming off a seed you just watched that with 300 point Magos and a glove in the first like area. Now you had to work for the glove, and you had to, work for a spell, and you had to,
I didn't have to work too hard for the glove. I mean,
no, not at all. It
wasn't like Palace 1 or something like that.
No, but it wasn't exactly as free as the last seed anyway, either. Sure. But Simple's on this last Carrick fight. Unfortunately, Carrick is a boss that Simpoldood does just about as well as anybody else, and grabs the key on the way down, pauses for a bit, takes a little selfie.
So I wonder if he's going to figure out, because he's throwing fireballs.
Yeah, he just
that
did.
They might be linked somehow.
He just figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pause to the menu screen and him flickering back and forth, he now realized that reflect is fire. I'm not entirely sure. It was the glove more than anything else. I don't think the realization of fire being reflect is a determining factor in this race at all. It was definitely the didn't find glove for 100 minutes situation. Not finding new Kasuto was a detriment, because everything he did thereafter with finding the medicine and finding reflect, it was already at a time where the race was lost. But we are in Great Palace here. Do you chart Great Palace when you play?
No.
Okay.
I don't really know the rooms that well. I mean, sort of, but I mean, as you saw, I got stuck in that loop pretty hard.
Yeah.
And it just up aid to try and recenter everything in my mind.
One of the easier things you can do to chart Great Palace is just like, mark rooms with X's and just draw like a little line in a direction that is open. So like if you arrive at a Jacquemus room from the left, you can just kind of put an X and put a dash to the right and dash underneath the X, and then like, okay, I can get back that way. And then
where haven't I gone? Sure.
Yeah, and then once you get a little bit more advanced, that you can turn that X into a J for the Jacquemus room. And then once you loop, you're like, wait a second, I've seen that room before. Or if you're going for a long time and you see a sequence of rooms, and then you see the same sequence of rooms again, you're like, wait, then you can maybe easily identify a loop, but it didn't seem like you had that problem identifying that loop. It's just that a loop exists in several different directions.
Well, I went through the loop a couple times. I could have figured it out a bit earlier had I known what rooms were what. Like, for instance, with these elevator rooms here, there's so many of them that so with those it's understandably difficult, but with the rooms that I was getting looped in, that there's only one of in the Great Palace, I really should have known better the second time I had seen it.
The way and this is not just generally directed at you, but anybody listening here, the way the shortened Great Palace flags work in the randomizer, and those are the flags we run during this opening rounds of the tournament. They remove 25 to 50% of the rooms straight out, but they only remove rooms that have 2 entrances, 2 exits, 2 ways out. So those elevator rooms, the one that Simpoldood's in right now, they have 3 ways to go: left, right, and up. Those will never be removed. So if you know how many there are, you know how many you can see. And any room that has, like the Jacquemus room, the fairy room, all 4 drop rooms will always be there, and the landing zones. So all those rooms will always be something you need to identify. And then it's just all the other rooms have the odd chance of being randomized and being in the rotation or out of the rotation. And Thunderbird and Darklink will always be to the right. There you go. There was actually a situation, we're going to probably see it come up here, where after you beat Thunderbird and after you took several dead-end paths, you found the Eon drop, the Crumble Bridge room with the drop in the middle.
Yep.
And then there was one room to the right of that, and we were like, oh, man, if that's another drop, then it's a 50-50 chance, because you saw, in one of the dead ends you took, you saw where you would land. And we're like, all right, well, which one does he take? One's going to lead to Darklink. The other one's going to loop you all the way back around to start, basically. And here is one of the drop rooms. But you did only have the Eon room. You dropped, went left, went down, went right, and there was Darklink.
Yep. Well, I'm glad I didn't run into that.
Yeah, no, it was like one of the situations, because, as a commentator, you're always trying to put the emphasis on, like, how can this actually be a race? Like, what can happen here that can allow Simpoldood to catch up if he finds, whatever item he was looking for at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would have put a couple minutes into the timer for sure.
Yeah. So he's looping right now, right? This is basically just the drop room right next to the entrance.
It's the drop room sort of near the entrance, where he has to go left. Now he's entering the sequence of rooms here that will start looping around.
Yeah.
Going up to the Jacquemus room, when he goes right here, it will be a drop room, for which the drop room then takes him around. Yeah, this is the one he just took, right? This drop room?
Yeah, this is where I got looped a bunch of times.
Yeah, so he'll arrive back at that dead end with the jar, no jar, and then he'll be back
No,
in it.
that one's the enemy one.
Yeah, and then this is going to be the room where the Jackamus room, and he keep going around. If he goes down, he's going to hit the elevator room. To which, if he goes right, he's going to find the Jackamus room again, and if he goes left, he's going to loop back to the drop room. I'm sorry, J here stands for jar room. My bad. There's 2 different J's on my map. But yeah, he'll eventually, if he goes that path, he'll eventually arrive at another drop, which will then take him back to left of where he was before this elevator he just took up to the Jackamus room. So it's very loopy here and in 2 different directions. And we were saying at this point in time when you were doing this, best thing to happen to you is if you up A right now, and eventually you arrived at that.
Yeah, too many rooms that all just look alike.
So how much do you play this game other than the tournament? Do you practice off stream, on stream?
I would like to. Yeah, basically the answer is no. I did exactly 1 practice run before the tournament just to try and get my feet wet because I had never even played the 3rd family of randomizers. I always played on V2. So there was just so much new stuff that I needed to get used to. For instance, fire being linked to things.
Yeah, fire being linked to things. The addition of P-Bag Caves, the 3 of them. And
yeah, because before I didn't have to check any of the East Continent caves unless something was cave blocked.
The biggest thing is every item everywhere, where in version 2 point whatever, the trophy was always on the Western continent, and between the medicine or kid, one was on the Western continent, one was on the Eastern continent. But if it was on the Eastern continent, it couldn't be in New Kasuto, and none of the items could have been in any of the palaces. So there was a very defined location of where these spell items could be. But now that they can be anywhere, even in Palace 4, that requires that gets you the spell that you need to beat Palace 4. It's opening up a lot of situations where you have to play the game and get a lot more items than you used to. But here's Thunderbird.
Yeah, he's finally managed to find the right path.
I like how Scorpion Max is doing work right now, dying to all the bosses after killing the bosses to determine what you do and don't have to refight. So I never knew that was the thing. So dude broke open the King bot and then cast spell on the bots to turn them into bots. That make them weaker bots?
Yeah, he killed all the tiny ones in 1 hit. And they were worth 10 XP.
That's crazy. That's crazy talk.
Isn't it?
Well, I assume you knew that.
I did.
Yeah.
It's just that I had my mic muted because I was hungry.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm starving too.
Nice T-Bird fight.
And by the way, everyone stay tuned.
Really
because
easy.
yeah, absolutely. At the conclusion of this race, we're going to be joined by the Dig Shake himself. And he's going to enter the last score in, and we're going to take a look at the brackets for round 4. The matchups.
Hashtag still salty.
It's Max's fault, though. Let no one forget that.
I
This
can
room
blame
was
Max.
really gross, dude.
I can blame Max all I want. It was all my fault. It was all my fault.
Fun room. It's going to be really fun when we start turning on the mixed small and large enemy flags, those rooms. I'm going to go right in this bridge room, and I believe it's going to lead him to a dead end, and he's going to have to take that prior left where he just came down in that elevator.
Yep, I believe you're right.
All right, so there was no situation, honestly, and I have to backtrack here and correct myself. There was no situation where we were ever going to find a 50-50 chance where you had to decide what drop to take, because all 3 drop rooms were, in fact, behind Thunderbird. All right, so that was never a possibility. I don't know why I have a big sheet of paper in front of me, and I decide to cram the map of Great Palace in the corner of the page for some reason. It's an oversight. I'll work on it. That's something I'll get better at for the next race. But dude's going to make his way through this waffle room.
Here's a question for you guys. How many of the waffle rooms have jars?
1. And you know it's
one it is?
Yeah, and you know which one it is because there'll be on the left-hand side elevator, there'll be enemies right there at the elevator. And on the right-hand side, there'll be a large enemy. If it's not mixed small and large, there'll be an enemy outside on the right-hand side, probably a chicken. That's the easiest way I can identify it.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Oh, don't up A here, man. All right, maybe he's just making a note.
I hope so.
I mean, it's pretty much linear after Thunderbird. Eon Drop was the only... Well, the initial elevator led you right to a dead-end room, though, after one additional room. And then the Eon Drop. So finding that dead end, there was only one path to go. Drop down into that L7, left to that room, down to this room, and then right to Darklink. I believe our statistician, Countess, is going to be working on how many times the Eon Drop worked and didn't work, and how many times the required item was in 5 or 4. But I'm pretty sure every single answer is 100%. Dude's head banging right now.
Well, no required item in 4 or 5 this time.
Well, the only difference is it was a required item in the sense that Simpoldood didn't realize fire was reflect. So it generated because the randomizer takes no account into what fire is linked to, and that's something to think about when you're thinking about when you're able to get fairy. It doesn't know fire is linked to fairy, so it'll never assume you have fairy. Before, fairy won't be blocked by an item in a palace as a result. Like, it's one of those things that's explained on the wiki.
There's a wiki?
There's a wiki. You got to read it, man. It explains every option in detail.
I'm totally blind to all this.
It's very good. For a randomizer wiki, it's awesome because a lot of times I find other randomizers I only learn by talking to other players or somebody yelling at me in chat because I'm not doing something. But there you have it. Congratulations, Tristal. Yet again. Okay, I believe Simpoldood's not going to join us. That's kind of been a standard for him. I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't want to talk to me either. So I'm going to take no offense to that. But we have with us, hello, everyone, welcome this guy. Please state your name and sign in, please.
Hey, what's up? Actually, 1 second. I got to go turn off some sound real quick. I'll be right back.
You just told me to hang on? It's unbelievable. You guys are welcome to hang out, too, as well, as we unveil the next bracket here. The next round.
All right. Sorry about that.
Hello.
Hey, are we ready to do this?
Have you heard about Pluto?
What about it?
It's messed up, right?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely should have got a Disney movie of his own. I don't know why he never did.
Oh, God. You didn't even really dig shake that one, but whatever.
Yeah, so I've got the score already punched in. Actually, I just need to click the button. Are you going to pull it up on stream, or you want me to hold off till you...
I'm actually trying to decide how I'm going to do this where it doesn't capture every single one of my open tabs and embarrassing bookmarks. So give me 1 second here. I I believe the best way to do that would be a window capture.
Well, while you're doing that, I can do a quick little review of the current situation. This is the final round, so people are they have one more week to try and either earn a bracket spot or earn a spot in the play-in race. And so far, we've got looks like 5 people who have already claimed one of the 16 bracket spots: Max, myself, Kulain, Rez, and Nirm. That number will go up though this week for sure. And then a whole bunch of people at 2-1 and 1-2, and unfortunately, also looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 people who are already 0-3 and therefore technically eliminated. So once Larry gets this set up and I enter the scores, looks like he's about ready.
Yeah,
actually.
go right ahead.
We'll get the next round and we can see what the next matchups are. So here we go. Trista won that match, and here comes round 4. So if you hit refresh on your page, you should see the matchups, or if you're in the tournament, you probably just got an email. So the way it works is that 3-0 people are going to be matched up against each other, with one exception since there's an odd number of 3-0s. And so you can kind of see where those races are. You see Kulain and Nirm going head-to-head. Those are 2 3-0 people. Myself and Max also going head-to-head next round. The odd one out looks like Rez, who's going up against Jam, which is actually still he's a good Zelda 2 player, so that's actually a pretty even match, I would say, between those 2 runners.
Buzz Thunder and Link 7s for the guaranteed
Uh-oh.
spot.
Nice. That's gonna be a fun one for sure. Joshy D versus King Doll. That's gonna be a match that I'm gonna add to my calendar. No doubt.
Jackamus versus Rose City Saint for the spot on the line. What did you say? Joshy D, King Doll. Yeah, Joshy D will love that one. I don't think Joshy D has played somebody in this tournament because he's played you, he's played Bent Glass Tube, and he's played King Doll. I don't think he's played anybody who he hasn't spent like a whole night talking to and doodling their name in his notebook.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Unos and Error is going to be a great race. I don't know if Error is still here.
I'm not sure why that one didn't stand out immediately to us.
Yeah.
Both 2-1. So that's probably one of the, I think, yeah, I mean, the other matches are matched up with skill as well, but you want to talk about 2 players that, could just dazzle people, and they're fighting for the automatic berth. I mean, that's...
Yeah. Hashtag still salty at that one.
There we go.
Well, you got a chance to, I guess, undo some of that salt this week against Unos.
I think Unos got some salt, too.
Yeah. Well, Jackamus versus Rose City Saint should also be a great race. Trying to see what else stands out with these matches. Jay Coper and Prez going head-to-head. Prez coming off of his first ever completion/win, so we'll see how he stands up. That should be a tough battle for Prez, honestly, going up against Jay Coper. But I don't know, Larry. Which one? Well, Angry Larry going up against Vonky, I think also probably a pretty competitive match there.
I mean, Vonky, who at this point in time could possibly have been 3-0. Going against a now 1-2 Angry Larry, it's not fun. Both fighting for the right to get into the play-in race.
Yeah,
it's like, why didn't I draw a BGT? Not to slight. He's not here, so I can say things like that. By the way,
BGT drew Shiner, so he's gonna have his hands full with that one.
Yeah, Shiner won his last race, right? To go 1-2.
I know he's won at least one race. I don't know.
I mean, if only I was able to just scroll up a little bit and answer that question myself.
Yeah.
No, Raikou Rider beat him. And then Jay Coper beat him in the first round. He won in his second round against somebody. I don't see his name. Oh, Cool in the Gank.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and Cool in the Gank and the Countess are duking it out for that guaranteed playoff spot. So that'll be, or the play-in race spot. So that'll be an interesting match for sure. A lot of great matchups, but we kind of knew that that was going to happen with this format due to the way that it works. You can see it's definitely paying off here. We got some top runners going against each other, but not only that, we got runners more in the middle of the pack who you would consider more evenly matched, also going up against each other with, continuation in the tournament on the line, which is just a lot of fun to see.
We were talking about that earlier. Zarnax brought it up. Like the amount of people who are 1 and 2 who may have not deserved to be 1 and 2, who then may have to play other people who were not deserving to be 1 and 2, and only one of them could have a chance for the bracket round. Like it was silly. But again, I guess it's nature of how many people, the skill level that joined the tournament, and the nature of the format. So it was going to happen. It's designed this way.
Yep. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of great people in this bracket. Just looking at the possible outcomes, there's gonna be a lot of good people in this bracket, no doubt. But only 11 spots really up for contention, since 5 of them have already been allocated. So it'll be interesting to see how those races turn out.
How many 2-1 matchups are there? Because there's no record on these things. How many 2-1 matchups are there? So how many guaranteed spots, and how many spots up for grabs?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 12 people at 2-1, but I believe that 2 of them are, kind of the boundary ones. So they're going to get,
one's paired up, one's paired down. So
yeah.
an average 6 are going to be winning to move on to join the 5 of them that are 3-0. So that's 11 spots with possibly 46 spots up for grabs.
Yeah, 5 or 6 will probably win in this week. So yeah, you're right. It'll be about 4 or 5 spots in the play-in race. And if we think about how many people will be 1 and 2, or 2 and 2 rather, I apologize, about half of the 2-1 folks, and then about half of the 1 and 2 folks. So that would be about, maybe a dozen people in the play-in race.
So how are we going to restream a? Maybe I should just win and not consider this possibility. How are we going to restream a 12-person play-in race?
I mean, the way that the Zelda 1 randomizer tournament did it is they had a four-way up on screen and kind of swapped people in and out as it appeared that they might be reaching important milestones in the race. So, but we'll figure it out. There's definitely people around that have experience with that. I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. Max is already talking trash in chat. So
I don't think Max stopped today, by the way. At least he's not targeting me anymore.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, maybe I need to get that race over with so he stops getting on me.
Well, players have that option to do that now. You can submit your race just like you did the other 3 races now that it's posted. They don't even have to wait for tomorrow, right? But I guess it might be better so it can get restreamed and such.
Yeah, I mean, if they really want to go today, they can go today, sure.
All right, well, thanks again, guys, for hanging out, and best of luck to everybody involved in the 4th round with, implications of the match on the line.
Yep.
All right, take care. We're done. We're done. I'm done. So I'll see you guys later. Take care. Thank you again.
Thanks, Larry.
Yeah, thanks to all the runners. Thanks to Error for hanging out and providing commentary. Thanks to Ryan for pitching in a little bit before when I was trying to get set up. And thanks for everybody for watching. That was round 2. We're going to move on to round 4 shortly. Why don't you pay attention to the website, the challenge.com/Z2Randomizer 2017 page, and I'll link you there. Or you can go directly to the schedule. I'm going to be putting the round 2. I wait a week for the round to conclude. We're going to do the round 2 matches on a playlist on YouTube. Starting tomorrow, they'll start filtering on there. You can go to that Google spreadsheet. You can see upcoming races and links to those VODs and such. So thanks again for hanging out, and we'll see you next week. Good luck again.